Hello and welcome to our presentation on the Gawi Howe International Case Study. Our team consists of Camilla, Melissa, and me. I am the team leader and timekeeper. Camilla is our scribe and quality control, and Melissa is responsible for the presentation graphics and final submission. Today we will walk you through the project planning, execution. The overall objective of Gawi Howe International Bridge Project was to design and construct a modern, sustainable bridge connecting to Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor, Ontario. The project aimed to improve trade efficiency, enhancing transportation safety, and stimulate a regional economic growth. Some key success factors include completing the project on time, staying within the budget, maintaining a high construction quality, and also, most importantly, satisfying the stakeholders. Furthermore, the high-level scope includes constructing the bridge itself, access roads and custom plazas, while ensuring the compliance within environmental regulation. Major milestones include design completion in 2014, regulatory approval in 2015, construction starts in 2018, and major bridge completion project for 2024. Furthermore, the estimate budget for this project was $5.7 billion, funded by the Canadians and US government, with cost control such as regular audits and contingency funds in place.
Important parties and stakeholders. Several important stakeholders are involved in this project. These include the governments of the United States and Canada, construction company responsible for building the bridge, local community living near the project area, and logistics and trade companies that depend on cross-border transportation. Each stakeholder group has different interests. Governments focus on cost, schedule, and political impact. Local communities are concerned about environmental effects and traffic changes. Contractors are focused on profitability and completing the project on time. Understanding these different perspectives is essential for managing large infrastructure projects successfully. Executing, monitoring, and controlling. During the execution phase, strong risk management was essential. The project team used a risk register to monitor major risks. Some of the most important risks include costing overruns, delays in permits and approvals, labor shortages, supply chain disruption, and safety incidents during construction. To reduce these risks, the project implemented mitigation strategies, such as continuous monitoring, safety protocols, and improved coordination between stakeholders. Another important aspect during this phase was stakeholders' dynamics. For example, governments played a major role as project sponsors and regulator, while the private consortium Bridge in North America was responsible for designing, building, financing, and operating the bridge. Local communities also influenced the project through environmental concerns and community engagement.
Here, we break down the main stakeholders, starting with the governments of Canada and Michigan. Their role was as sponsors and regulators. They oversaw everything from funding to approvals. Initially, their focus was on economic benefits and improving trade efficiency in the Windsor-Detroit corridor, which handles nearly 30% of Canada-US truck trade. But as the project progressed, their expectations shifted to emphasize risk sharing and a solid funding structure, especially given the cross-border nature of the 2012 crossing agreement that outlined joint ownership and toll collection on the Canadian side. Then we had local communities. Their concerns centered on environmental impact, traffic congestion, and neighborhood disruptions, things like increased noise or changes to daily life during construction. The project team responded proactively with public meetings, community benefit programs, and clear communication about construction impacts as required by the agreement. Then we had the private consortium, Bridging North America, or BNA. Their role was to design, build, finance, operate, and maintain the bridge and ports of entry for 30 years, plus handle the Michigan interchange. Expectations changed year two, starting with a focus on construction scope. They later took on term operations under the DBFOM PPP model. Their influence was high due to their financial responsibility. They're the ones turning the vision into reality while managing risks like those in our matrix. And finally, businesses in the trade industry were major beneficiaries. Their role was as advocates for the project, expecting reduced wait times, increased trade flow, and reliable logistics corridor to avoid the economic losses from congestion outlined in the 2004 Economic Impact Report. Potentially billions would be lost in production by 2030 if nothing was done. Overall, these stakeholder dynamics show how the project adapted to changing expectations through strong engagement and the border transportation partnerships oversight.
Communication strategy. Communication played a key role in the success of the project. Different communication strategies were used depending on the audience. For example, updates about regulatory approvals were communicated to the government through reports and email. Environmental compliance updates were shared with contractors through meetings and technical reports. Local communities and NGOs were informed through public meetings and press announcements. Overall, open and consistent communication helped maintain trust among stakeholders and allowed the project team to adapt communication strategies when needed.
Building on the critical communications we've just discussed, which helped keep everything aligned during challenges, let's wrap up with our evaluation of the project's success. This slide addresses the core question: was the Geordie Howe International Bridge project successful, and why or why not? As you can see in the table here, we've assessed key factors based on the case study and recent updates as of March 2026. Starting with schedule, it's delayed from the original September 2024 target, but major construction is now complete and the bridge is in the final testing and commissioning phase. The opening is expected in early 2026, impacted by COVID-19 permitting issues and recent US-Canada political disputes like the February 2026 threats from the US side, which were quickly addressed. On budget, it's over the initial 5.7 billion Canadian dollars, now at about 6.4 billion due to those same delays, inflation, and supply chain disruptions. However, these overruns were managed effectively through contingency funds and routine audits, keeping things under control. Quality is on track and completed. Engineering and safety standards have been met with ongoing testing to ensure everything's ready for reliable operations, aligning with the project's goal of a safe, efficient border crossing. And finally, stakeholder contentment is high by mixed. There's strong involvement from governments, communities, and the private consortium through the benefit programs and the PPP model, leading to overall satisfaction, but it's tempered by those cross-border tensions. In conclusion, the Geordie Howe International Bridge project is on the cusp of success as of March 2026, with major construction complete and opening imminently in early 2026. Despite schedule delays and budget overruns from external factors like COVID-19 pandemic and political challenges, proactive risk management, robust stakeholder engagement, and effective communication have maintained quality standards and positioned the project to deliver long-term economic benefits, including improved trade efficiency and job creation as highlighted in the case study's economic impact projections. Overall, our team believes this was a success because it overcame significant hurdles to create a critical piece of infrastructure for North American trade.